Just over 4 months ago, I announced I'd need to be taking a break from making YouTube content to pursue some personal goals of mine and to grow some personal skills. Namely, I really wanted to develop coding skills, and thus I've been spending the last 4 months heavily studying Java programming. Along with that, I just had a lot going on around that time period, both personally and then some stuff that my wife and I had to deal with. So it just felt like a good time to focus my priorities on that for a while, focus on some coding, and hopefully set up myself for future careers. Now, with that time, I actually have made a huge amount of progress with coding. My understanding of it is significantly better. While I'm definitely not an expert, I was able to learn how to construct quite a bit, and I definitely think in the next few months, I should be able to start applying for jobs and be a relatively competent and desirable candidate. I've actually been studying coding, specifically Java, since about December, when my grandmother gave me a gift of a study book along with some other books over the time that I've really been able to make a lot of use of. I did manage to get my certification from mookfi.com, which was a huge help in sort of filling any gaps that I was missing from my current knowledge at the time. I am still pursuing a second certification, but I've left that on the back burner. My first project I made, which I don't have anymore, was a to-do list. Essentially, you would enter in all the things that you wanted to do throughout the week, and then you'd be able to have it printed out to you so that way you could see, okay, what do I need to get done today, tomorrow, etc. And it was actually a lot of fun to make this project. It was very difficult, and I really didn't know what I was doing, but it taught me a lot. I also spent some time on a much simpler project, which was just tic-tac-toe from the console, and it took me about a week to make. It wasn't very difficult to make, but it did teach me quite a bit, and it showed that I was learning quite a bit from all the skills that I'd been putting in. Next, I ended up making a random password generator, primarily because I would like to be able to update my passwords for things fairly frequently, and I thought it would be a fun project to make something that I would actually use and would be practical for myself. I created it so that it follows general naming conventions for different websites, so that way it'll work at most places, particularly with special characters, length, capitalization, etc. It also has a save function, which allows you to save a specific password. You type in the username that you want to use with it, and then at a later time, let's say I forget what it is, I can load it up and it'll tell me what it is, so that way I don't really run the risk of losing my passwords. Now, I did not set this up so that it is encrypted, so it's technically someone could hack me and get it, but I haven't been using it yet. I won't be using it until I encrypt it. However, it was a great learning experience, and it showed me just how competent I was getting with my skills. Now, the current project, which is the one that excites me the most, and I've been learning so much doing it, is I've actually been developing a roleplay fantasy game. Currently, you can select different races and different classes to start off the game. It's not really a game just yet. I've mainly been adding different aspects and drawing different character skins and taking inspiration off of the internet, which I'll eventually adapt into my own, but it's been a huge help. I currently have NPCs, I have a little merchant. He doesn't work just yet. I have enemies, you can level up. It's been a blast, and I'm really excited to continue to work on this as I grow my skills. So next I wanted to talk about Wildlander. Unfortunately, we still don't have any updates on what's going on with the game, at least not any that are public, and I am having a little bit of a lack of passion for creating content on it. It's not that I don't have any passion. I actually do have a video in the works that I want to put out, but I was pretty much strictly a Wildlander content YouTuber. And because they haven't been adding anything and I feel a little bit burnt out in that way, I did kind of have a little bit of an identity crisis when it came to this channel. I wasn't sure what kind of content I wanted to make, so I made a bunch of random things to see what stuck for me. And I enjoyed making some of it. I really enjoy the talking through my feelings on games. A good example of that being Starfield or some of the critiques for Wildlander. And I do think that I want to be making more varied content. I will more than definitely come back and make some more content on this game when/if the team is able to make some additions. However, as it stands now, I want to look to the future of this channel, not just the future of Wildlander. So the future of this channel to me, and this will change as it matures and I mature with it in terms of my skills and my passions for it, but it looks like having different challenges with specific goals. I've realized I enjoy playing games in a way where I have a very specific goal, a very specific finish line that I am hoping to achieve. And once I achieve that goal, it's not that I lose passion for the game or the idea altogether, but usually for me, that's where I need to take a break. And when I'm trying to push past that, it does make it difficult to truly enjoy the games. This is one of the reasons that I've quit doing playthrough videos. I realized that I'm playing the game and I'm kind of making videos and I'm doing it sort of to tell a story, but it doesn't really have that challenging desire that really gets my flame burning, and I've just realized that I'm not huge into making playthrough videos. I like to do videos that have a very specific idea or series of ideas, maybe it goes on for a couple videos, to have a beginning and an end, and then to just enjoy finishing that off and starting something fresh. So I do plan on making some videos for World of Warcraft. I've been playing a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of World of Warcraft, specifically hardcore World of Warcraft. I really want to get to level 60. I've made it to level 30, but I've not made it to, again, level 60, which is the highest level for hardcore, the original classic version. It's been fun for me, and I do have some video ideas that I plan to put out in the future, at least a couple. I've also been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is such a great game, and I ended up finally completing the one life challenge to get through the entire game, and I ended up earning my golden dice, which, if you're not aware, is the reward for obtaining that. So that was something I was super excited and super proud of myself for doing. The last main thing outside of that would be I do want to be able to do talking videos where I sort of talk about different subjects. If you saw, I did talk about some personal stuff, but I also have talked about things like Attack on Titan. I'm a huge fan of movies, TV shows, series, things like that. And I enjoy dissecting what makes them great, what makes them average or mediocre, what they could do differently or better, or why I personally didn't enjoy it. And I do think that that's something I'm going to integrate into this channel. The last thing that I might integrate, I'm not certain on this, would be coding. I might want to add coding into some of the games I play just to increase challenge. One example or idea I had that I'm not certain I want to do, but it's an interesting idea, would be for Elden Ring, especially since the DLC is coming out, I could set up a program where I have 10 different characters and each character has to fight a different boss, and it just randomly shuffles through the different bosses, and if I die in any of them, I have to start over. So the challenge would be to beat 10 bosses at once with one life. It would be a very difficult challenge, but it would be incredibly fun to set up. It'd be a learning experience for me on how to code an actual game, and I imagine it would be interesting content for you guys. So for something like that, I would be interested to hear your feedback on whether or not you think that would be fun. There is a likelihood that this content may not be for those of you who have come to watch my Wildlander content, and I do understand that, and if for some reason it is not doing it for you, I completely understand if you need to unsubscribe or you just don't want to watch anymore. Because a lot of you did actually subscribe under the premise of Wildlander, and unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the center focus of this channel anymore. I will certainly make videos in the future whether or not we do see updates, but I do want to branch out and do some things that I'm passionate about and interested in. And hopefully you're interested in those too. Hopefully you enjoy them as well, and I can continue just to improve. So that was the bulk of what I had to talk about today. I do appreciate you watching. I am sorry for being MIA for about 4 months, and hopefully you enjoy the content that I start uploading to this channel once again. Thanks for watching, and stay safe, Wildlanders.